Good evening, excuse me, audience. On behalf of the Rescuing Our Communities initiative to empower and educate the community about the civil rights. Alexa, stop, please. Thank you. On behalf of the initiative to educate the community regarding the civil rights of all people, not just minorities, I am Clayton here, continuing my mission as it is to expose misconduct within the office of the Staten Island District Attorney. I kind of got to start off with something that's really important that I kind of want people to know. Many of the people, because I realize some people are from all over. Been getting, excuse me, from people all over, literally. All borough, one of the city of New York, which is part of the greater state of New York, part of the United States of America and the territories. Excuse me, I can't remember right now. But Staten Island is part of the United States of America. Therefore, a local, low-level district attorney does not have the authority or the power to circumvent federal law. Unless he's in a community that's so insignificant that no one's going to pay attention and the people are so weak that they're not going to stand up against him. Sometimes in communities we face problems as minorities that we are unable to address if we lack the power or a I want to say a cohesive community that is willing to come together to address a problem. I am where racism has been planted for decades. Unfortunately, in my situation, the Caucasians who are residents of Staten Island, many of them don't care about the rights of a black man being violated, being maliciously prosecuted, being falsely arrested, being denied victim rights, because most of them, and this is sad to say, they may have issues with black people that they keep buried because nowadays it's not cool to be racist. Just because someone has pretends to have black friends and are around black people does not mean they like them. We live in times where it's not cool to be racist. No one wants to be associated with a racist. No one wants to admit that they're the friends of a racist. The only times we find people that are willing to accept the role of racist is usually um, white supremacists or those Americans that live in parts of the countries where they feel that black people are still irrelevant, and that's their right. I don't argue against anyone who may not like black people because you just don't like black people. I'm a man who understands that everyone has the right to feel whatever way they like, and if you don't like me because I happen to be black, that's your choice. If you don't like me because I happen to have been profane at a time, or I was overly aggressive, which road, and that's your right. But when I speak about rights, I speak about the federally and state protected rights of every citizen, regardless of the fact of whether or not people like them. Unfortunately, we live in a country where people don't have to like you. You are mandated. You are given rights as a citizen of this country the day you're born. And no one really has the right to deprive you of those rights unless you've done something legally that takes those rights from you. I'll give you a couple examples. When people go to prison, they lose the right of private citizens and they don't have the same rights that you and I have. They can't vote, they can't work, they can't have a bank account, etc. Well, they actually can have a bank account, but they lose most of those rights they have when they're detained by a state or federal agency. No one deserves to be framed. People who go to prison should go to prison or jail or be prosecuted for things they've actually done. Of the district attorney's office of no community in this country has the authority or the right to falsely or maliciously prosecute someone. But this is what they do. This happens in every state within this country. There are thousands of malicious prosecutions every year because the power of the state is so complete that unless you have knowledge to fight these devilish people, you're pretty much screwed the day they charge you. A lot of people have been DMing me telling me that I have major balls, they respect my fight, whatever it might be. I don't have major balls, people. I'm just tired of being oppressed. I'm tired of being targeted by this racist district attorney who truthfully has been after me since the death of my mother. My mother, who happens to be adorned behind me right here. Actually, you know what? Let me do a screen share. Let me introduce the world to my beautiful late mother, people. I mourn for my mother all the time. It's something that I'm trying to address and get over with people, but I got to be honest, it's not easy. I love my mother a great deal. She was probably one of my best friends, to be honest with you. A lot of times when you have friends, you take advantage of them because you think they're going to be there forever. But here's the truth, people. They're not. They're not going to be there forever. And the day you realize that the people you love do not have an infinite time on this planet is the day you will become an adult, a man or a woman. And is the day you should definitely work to. I want to say that you should work to do everything you can to appreciate and love those people because life is short. Um, Life is so short, people. You lose people at the drop of a dime. Anyway, this is my late mother. And my late mother was probably one of the most prominent female ministers and pastors and clergy women, excuse me, on Staten Island, probably in New York, because she knew a lot of people. Believe it or not, I never realized how far her influence reached until she passed, and I started hearing from all these people. Um, she was a truly great woman, and I am proud to be her son many days more than I was when she was actually alive because I never really realized how hard she worked for what she believed in. People who believe in certain things, they don't do it for money. They do it because it's something that's deeply rooted in their heart and they believe it's the right thing. And that was who my mother was. My mother was definitely a woman who thought that the right thing is what mattered. And as you can see, she thought she had friends, and these people were never her friends. They used her. They used her. Look at this. This is Congresswoman Debbie Rose. She used it. This is Demetrius Carolina. I can't say anything bad about Dr. Carolina, honestly. I really can't, so I won't. But this piece of shit right here, Debbie Rose, she is a complete piece of shit. I have to be honest with you. She does not do anything for the community. She is a duplicitous, deceitful woman, and I just have to be honest about that. To all of you people who out there may love her, your experience is not mine. I have recordings of Debbie Rose. Debbie Rose lied to me like you would while she was in jail because she knew that I was innocent and she did truth. No one has to believe me. Deborah Rose knows I'm telling the truth. She's a former councilwoman who used my mother for votes and recognition within the community. Honestly, I'm very glad that my mother and beyond this world. I don't believe will pass away, audience, that they're here to watch over the people that they loved in their lives. If the afterlife is about eternal peace, how can someone die and still have access to this world where they can view the things that are going on? I know my late mother. My late mother was a woman of immense peace, and she would literally be turning over in her grave if she knew half of the stuff that had happened since she died. And I'm not going to sit back and say that I've been innocent because there's been times where I've been wrong and I've acted against what she taught me, and I kind of regret that a lot. I don't regret it in my response to me, but I do regret it because I realized that I've done in the last, I want to say, 2 years. But again, people, I was in a bad position. I was going through a district attorney doing everything he could to prosecute me because my mother was dead. Now that might sound insane, but I'm going to prove it to my audience by this highly relevant. As I've told you, the Staten Island District Attorney's Office since the year 2020 has maliciously prosecuted me and violated my civil rights. My problems with the Staten Island District Attorney's Office began when Gwendolyn Carr, the mother of the late Eric Garner, falsely reported me for allegedly stealing her car, something I never did. The simple fact of the matter is that I had paid Gwendolyn Carr a considerable sum for this car. As a matter of fact, by the time I was arrested, I was at about $2,000, which is what Gwen wanted from me. So I didn't understand the problem. My mistake was not succumbing to her demands to pay a toll bill that she would not verify with an itemized receipt. So because I wouldn't pay this bill that Ms. Carr gave me and couldn't prove to me that the bill was mine, she decided to go falsely report me to the 120 precinct and claim I stole the car. Now, how could a woman who claims to be just and whose son was murdered by the police do something like this is beyond me. The only natural, the only, the only natural response I can have to a woman who would do such deceitful, she's a complete piece of shit. I'm sorry. I'm from New York. The ultimate insult to their character and their level of integrity is shit because shit is not good. Anywhere you see shit, you don't want to touch it. Anywhere you see shit on the ground, you try to avoid it. If shit is in your car, you try to get it out because it stinks, people. Nobody wants to be around a funky piece of shit. And this is what some of these people are. I just have to be honest, forgive the profanity. There is a much more intelligent way I could refer to them, but this way for my audience who may have a basic intelligence is everybody knows what a piece of shit is. So that's the terminology I am going to refer to Michael McMahon and all of the other people who violated my civil rights intentionally. Because anyone, especially a district attorney who has an oath of office, who's an elected official. Victim comes to you with a federally protected order of protection. You have a 19 United States Code 2264 that order based on full faith and credit clause of 18 USC 2265. The full faith and credit of 18 USC 22 sorry people. It's pretty simple. It basically states that an out-of-state protection order, out-of-state protection orders are enforceable under specifically using 18 United States Code 2265, which is the full faith and credit clause that is in Violence Against Women Act. What is the Violence Against Women Act, many of you ask? The Violence Against Women Act is a federal statute put in place to protect the victims of domestic violence, which is interesting. I just got a text message from somebody. Somebody must have hacked this brother's account. He would never send me something like this. It's all good. That's my boxing homie. He's all good. But the full faith and credit laws of the Violence Against Women Act is a federally established statute that establishes the full faith and credit requirements, meaning that protection orders issued in one state must be enforced in another state and recognized by that state, its law enforcement officers, and its prosecutors. Now, as I've shown you, a Staten Island District Attorney employee by the name of Mackenzie Upshaw actually lied and told me that my out-of-state order was unenforceable in the state of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, before I start this, I hope I don't X out. Yeah, let me share my screen because I like to educate my people, educate and empower. So let me help you out, people. Boom. I have so many legal apps on my computer. My mother would be really proud of me, people, because she was wrong. She wanted me to go to medical school. Shouldn't have went to medical school. Should have went to law school when I was 24. I would have been damn good. But I'm still going to be good, people, because I'm focused. I don't even care if I get a law license. As long as I learn how to properly litigate and wage war in federal and state courts, people, I'm winning. And I can hire other lawyers who can act as co-counsels, and I can be an advisor, people, and I can make a difference. Because people like Michael McMahon, prosecutors like Michael McMahon, in any city they are, need to be removed from power. And I believe my new mission move pieces of shit like Michael McMahon from office. Any prosecutor who could violate federal law simply to manipulate domestic violence statute and deny the actual victim of a crime with that they are afforded to should not be in office. A lot of people on this community on Staten Island may need this district attorney. The white citizens of Staten Island love him because they know how hard he is on the minorities. And you have in the community of Staten Island, I'm going to name them all directly. Ronti on my damn screen because I like people to see me when I drop names because I ain't scared of none of these punks. Ronti Olagunki, Malcolm Penn, Mike Perry, Bobby Digi, Victor Brown. These are all black men who have sold out the community in the minority position with the district attorney. And this is the truth. Bobby Digi, Sambo. Victor Brown, Sambo. I was about to call him Uncle Tom's because the hero in Tom's Cabin, excuse me. Sambo was the villain. Bobby Digi, men like this are Sambos. They have no loyalty to the community or the people that they pledge their loyalty to. Their loyalty is to power and manipulate in society by using the people who entrust them and look out for them as tools to gain favor with the white man or the most powerful white man on Staten Island, Michael McMahon. Because let's be honest, people, the most powerful man in a local small community district attorney. He has the right to mess up anybody's life he chooses by putting an order on them to go get him. You know how I know this audience is because this is exactly what he did to me 4 days after I ex-girlfriend Francina Evans. And I'm gonna be even more fair, people, because me as an intelligent man who understands the law process and how law enforcement conspires to frame innocent people, my arrest, which was filed December 5th, that was planned weeks before that. See, people, remember again, I was locked in a domestic violence situation with my ex-girlfriend in New Jersey and New York. The New York case was concluded on December 1st of the year 2022. Now, during that time, I was still involved in a domestic violence a situation with this woman in the family court of Richmond County. Staten Island, Michael McMahon had a boner to arrest me. Pearson tried to frame me because this woman contacted me on Instagram and I responded and asked her to leave me alone. So even though there was an order of protection mandating her to not refrain from my social media, to stay 1,000 feet away from myself and my infant daughter, this woman, because she was backed by Michael McMahon, decided, you know what? F that order. Mike's going to make sure I don't get arrested. People, she literally told me this in text message. Matter of fact, you know something, people? I'm so real. Let's pull up the DA's from my ex-girlfriend. Let's pull up some of them. But was decide to frame me by trying to have me arrested. So when I went to court for these, when I actually went to court for these domestic violence offenses, it would look like I had violated my ex or continued to do something. So people, I want to show you some things. Is it sharing it? I believe it's not sharing it. There it is. Now it's sharing it in a second. What the frick? Oh, I know what I got to do wrong. I'm sorry. Boom. That's it. So let's go, people. I'm going to show you one of the texts. Da-da-da. So this is an argument I had with a Francina Evans, a woman who has stalked me for years and used the law enforcement to maliciously prosecute me and do everything she can to ignore a federally protected order of protection, leave me alone for the rest of my life and stay 1,000 feet away from me. Something she has never complied with to this day. She texts me and she's going to report me to the DA. Now, people, I haven't sold drugs in years, but this was part of the lineup because this piece of shit, because that's what she is, had this already been working with this scumbag Michael McMahon, lying, telling people I couldn't walk. I owned a fucking construction company where I literally worked all day. But because this woman knew this racist bastard Michael didn't like black men, she lied and told him I was a drug dealer. And that was enough for Michael McMahon to come after me with completely no damn evidence. So as you read, this text was from April, I want to say 2022. I do have the date. So she tells me that I'm selling drugs. I said, I don't know that. I work all fucking day. You not low, but yes, I'm proud of myself. Stay relentless, kid. I can't tell. Had you ever been a good woman and maybe tried to meet me for lunch or breakfast or anything, you would know how hard I do. Chick would not even meet me in the city where I worked. She was a lazy chick who used to wait for me to get off work so I could drive from the city to Staten Island to pick her up and drive her to the gym. Fuck, that's third, excuse my language, people. But that annoyed me because this woman is a grown woman, and as a grown man, I believe my woman should be able to go to the gym, make her own dinner, and get to her damn house when I'm working all day, giving her money by herself, people. She shouldn't need me to come get her after working all day and bring her to my house when she could easily come meet me in the city for lunch. Do something to show your man you love him. Come meet him in the city. Bring me a sandwich. I probably would have took her to damn dinner, but people know this girl's such a baby and so far up her mother's ass that she couldn't even do that. Now she steals my dog and she starts threatening me with Michael McMahon. I basically tell her she would know how hard I worked, that she got off her lazy ass and got from under her boyfriend for lunch. She tells me I work for the DA. You not even proud of me. Wow, what a hater. And you proud of me? Look how I've been. I forgot, I don't know what that says. But people, she notifies me that she works for the DA. People, she did work for the DA. She worked for the DA lying on me, trying to have me arrested. Because the truth of the matter is, my ex-girlfriend never worked for the DA. She had a special relationship with Michael McMahon. How special that is, I don't know. But clearly it was so special that Michael McMahon decided to ignore all of my federally protected rights and prosecute me despite the fact that he knew I had just worked. People, corruption is so serious that if a district attorney could do something like that, everybody should take notice. The easiest thing to do is frame somebody if you work in law enforcement, because law enforcement is a very tight unit. I know everyone has heard the term, the brotherhood of police, the brotherhood of district attorneys. That brotherhood is only meant so they keep each other's secrets. Hey, you frame that black person or Spanish person over there, cool, I'm going to write this report up in a certain way so it makes it look like you ain't lying on them. People, this is what cops do all the times. They stick together filing false reports that get them out of situations when they violate civil rights. I'm 100% positive of that. And I want to show you something really quick, audience, because Clayton has done a lot of research into this. So, I hope everybody's watching this because this is a video I saw today that physically disgusted me, people. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh my
This
God!
video,
All right.
let's start it again.
Stop! Look at me!
Insane. This guy is not fighting this cop. Bent in the head with a gun, kicked him in the ball. The brother has never thrown a punch. The cop is beating the shit out of him. This is an NYPD. One punch. He hasn't resisted enough to call. This guy is manhandling. He ripped off his pants because he thinks the man has. I checked. I never had
Relax.
And you want to know the truth of
Please stop.
The truth is the cop's not going to do. These two uniformed officers right here, and I want to cut that off. These two uniform officers you see right here on the screen, they're going to write reports that lie for this cop and substantiate the fact that he was beating the living shit out this guy. That cop had no justification to hit that man in the head with his gun. But this is the corruption of the NYPD when its officers stick together so they can protect another officer who violates the civil rights of someone else. And this is the same thing that happens within district attorney's offices, like that of the Staten Island District Attorney and Michael McMahon. You see, people, Staten Island District Attorney Mike McMahon is probably, although he is the most powerful man in that community, he's definitely the most corrupt. But he's an intelligent man, people. And this is the reason why Clayton Howard stopped using drugs over a year and a half. Because I realized that in order to beat my enemy, I would have to become like him. At least like him enough where drugs weren't controlling me, where I wasn't drinking, where my mind was clear and I was strong as a man, people. This is what transformed me into the rock you see in front of you. I can confidently say, Mike McMahon, fuck you. You're a scumbag. You're a racist. You're a liar. You violated my civil rights. You literally... Oh, I can't go into the amount of disgust that I have every time I see this decrepit bastard's picture, people. I truly dislike him because I know what he has done to violate not only my rights, the rights of dozens of people on Staten Island. And the unfortunate fact is that these sellouts, like the black pastors of Staten Island, the fake advocates of Staten Island, they pretend to support this white man because they need his power to be relevant within the community where they would never be relevant. And that's unfortunate, people. Because most of these people, like the Rontiola Gunkies, the Malcolm Penns, the Mike Perrys, the Victor Browns, the only reason they have any type of support is because people believe that they're going to fight for the truth, that they're going to stand up for justice, that they're going to fight against the oppression of a racist prosecutor or cops. But people, you got to be built different to do that. You can't be a coward and stand up against people with power. Coward, it don't work like that. Only a man with balls, with integrity, with strength can stand up to somebody in power who may be more powerful than him. Because when you're strong, you don't care about what some position somebody's in. You are capable. Capable means you don't fear anything. And people, I'm capable. I don't care I don't give a goddamn about Mike McMahon and what he could do. People, they've already tried to frame me. Why would I be afraid to speak out? They framed me multiple times already, people. I got hit in the head with a damn crowbar and they prosecuted me for defending myself against the person who put me on crutches in a year. How is that justice, people? How does that even sound legal? I'm confused, people. A tire iron is a deadly instrument. If I was to take a tire iron and bust Mike McMahon in the fucking head, people, I would do 40 years in prison. Forget the fact he's a prosecutor, people. He could be a civilian. But if I hit him in the head with a tire iron as a damn civilian, having assaulted him a year before, people, I would get 30 years. What happened with me, people? Why was my offender's charges dropped? Because I beat his ass when he hit me in the head with a crowbar. Okay, people, I get it. It was a mutual assault. When they finally separated me and this guy, people, I had put the business in on him, people. He had a crowbar, and I split his head to the white meat. That's not because I'm a violent man. It means because I know how to defend myself. And this guy messed up coming by himself. See, people, when you can't fight, that's why you jump people. When you can fight, you don't have to jump nobody. You will stand and face anybody one-on-one because a man understands if you lose a fight, you lose the fight another day. It's nothing with losing a fight, people. Defeat is common, people. Failing in life is something you do to become better. I don't have a problem getting my ass whooped. You know why? Because if I get my ass whooped, the first thing I'm gonna think is, damn, that motherfucker whooped my ass. What did I do wrong? And people, I'm gonna correct the things that got me beat up the last time. People, that's why I became such a good fighter, from losing. How do you become successful in business? From failing, people. How do you become successful in marriage? From making mistakes. How do you become a good parent? From making mistakes, people. This is life. You have to make mistakes to become better. You have to take losses to gain wins, people. This is the truth. And here's the truth of Clayton Howard. I've taken many losses. I've lost my mother. I've lost my business. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars fighting the lies of Francina Evans and fighting the corruption of the Richmond County District Attorney's Office. People, I've been taking losses for years, back to back. And I'm tired of that shit because I'm not a loser. I'm not going to keep letting people that are less than me and that are racist keep attacking me and try to destroy my life because they're jealous of the fire that's in me. You jealous of it? You should be jealous of it. And you should be very concerned about the person who's after you now. Because if you fucked up and you think that I was just going to be that guy that was going to sit there and curse you out and not know what to do, guess what I know how to do now? Sue the living crap out of you when you play games with me, people. I understand federal civil rights law better than most prosecutors in criminal court now. Because there's two aspects of law, people. It's the criminal law and it's civil law. And it's also family law. But in these instances, it's civil law and it's family law. And most criminal prosecutors don't know civil law because they're so used to manipulating the criminal code, they don't pay attention to federal civil rights laws. I have. So I can confidently accuse Michael McMahon of racism, bias, discrimination, and the violation of civil rights. Because as an educated black man who is going to school for law and reads case law all the time, people, I can completely support my allegations that Mike McMahon framed me. I can completely support my allegations that this detective by the name of Joseph Quirk falsified a criminal complaint against me so I would be arrested, listed in the system as a defendant, and then denied domestic violence services from every agency in the city with connections to the NYPD database and the district attorney database, because that was the grand plan. That's why I got arrested for a misdemeanor domestic violence offense, because that arrest barred me from domestic violence services within the city of New York. And the district attorney's office did not want me to be able to work with an agency and show proof that Francina Evans was lying. So what they did was arrest me on a misdemeanor domestic violence complaint, because as a criminal defendant, I was barred from services, even if I was a victim of domestic violence. If you're arrested for a domestic violence offense that's active, the prosecutors and the domestic violence agencies won't help you. So what they did was frame me. So if I go to a domestic violence agency, like let's say Safe Horizon would turn me away. Now, the crazy part about this is Safe Horizon, the Family Justice Center, was working with my offender. They positioned her as a victim. They praised her for being strong. They supported the lie that I had coercively abused her. But none of them bothered to look into the fact that she had a federally protected lifetime restraining order against her for assaulting a child. None of them cared about that, because the larger prize was her black ex-boyfriend that they all wanted to put in jail, because the truth is most of these agencies hate men and hate black people. That's the damn truth. The ones black, they're sellouts, and they really hate men, because domestic violence is such a sphere that for several reasons, and none of them are usually good. Classifying domestic violence advocacy or criminal justice is the group that has formerly been victims, and those are the only just group of the groups I'm about to name. These are people who have been victims, who were like themselves at the time. They couldn't find the support. They didn't have anybody who truthfully helped them, or they were in a situation where someone did help them, and that inspired them so much that they decided they wanted to go into domestic violence advocacy and help people. Those people are what's up, because those are usually true advocates that even if they see negativity, they will look further into the facts to determine the truth, because they understand that the truth is all that really matters in a domestic violence dispute, not a party or another. The truth is all that matters. Usually, the truth has a gray line, but if you look through that gray line and you sort through the evidence well enough, you can establish who's lying. It's not hard. I have a firm belief that most domestic violence I want to say situations, and I want to be really, really candid in this. I think that honestly, most domestic violence offenses, maybe 70-80% of them, can probably be resolved in an hour. If the court actually took the time to call two people in with all the presented evidence that they feel substantiates their complaint or their gripe within the family court, and they actually litigated those matters that day and stuck strictly to the documents, fuck testimony. Anybody can say something in testimony. An allegation can be alleged by anyone, but can you prove that allegation? That's key. If the family court mandated that people only testify to things they had evidence that they could support, most domestic violence litigation would be over in a month. It wouldn't take 6 months, a year, 2 years. The only reason domestic violence offenses take so long in the family court is because the family court is raping the state and the federal government. That's the only reason why. If you're in a family court hearing, they spend 15 to 25 minutes coordinating each other's schedule for another payday, because that's all it is. Every time they appear in court, people, it's a payday. When they go to court, and let's say you go to court and the judge says, all right, counselor, are you available? Are you available May 2nd? No, Your Honor, I have court. I'll be available May 14th. And then your lawyer might say, oh, well, Your Honor, May 14th, I'm busy. I have a trial. I'll be available May 28th. And you go back and forth with this because they want to make sure they can all appear so they can get that state money. Remember, when you're assigned a public defender, a family court attorney, they're not free. They're billing the state for their services. And it might not be a lot. I'll be fair. It probably is quite less than the average litigant would pay if they were outside and obtaining a private attorney. But money's money, people. So most of these family court attorneys have private practices and they get money from the state of New York. And this substantiates their income to the point where they can make money. And that's okay, people. I'm not going to down an attorney who uses the family court to supplement their practice. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem with those attorneys is this: when they do this, they tend to overlook misconduct within the family court, the misconduct of judges, the misconduct of procedure when your rights are violated. They overlook all of that because the truth is, if they report misconduct in the family court, then they may minimize their status in the court and they won't receive as many cases. I believe that all attorneys in the family court of New York, for the most part, are corrupt, and they completely support the system. They will not help you. They'll do their basic thing to help you. True. They always help women. Always, because the court targets men. The court targets single fathers to make us pay the state for the resources they give back women. A woman could be a prostitute, a drug addict, and refuse to work, and they will give her no. So they will give her no. They won't make her go to work. They won't make her do anything. Now the father can work. The father might be unemployed because the mother lied on him and got him falsely arrested, and he lost his job. And the father will be able to prove, like, listen, I can't pay this. She lied on me. She got me arrested. I have seen family courts still put fathers on the minimum required support, even though he doesn't have a job. Mind you, the mother does drugs all day, prostitutes, and runs the damn street. That makes no sense. Is she retarded? Does she not have two arms, two hands, and two legs? Does she not have all of her fingers? Why is she not required to better herself? But you're going to try to keep this guy low by just putting him on an order so you can control him. See, people, family court orders of protection, family court child support orders, they're just legal documents to screw with your life, people. As soon as you don't pay child support when you get to a certain limit, the first thing they do is suspend your license. The first thing they do is suspend your license. Now, let's say you're a truck driver. How can you go to work if the family court suspends your license for child support? How? It makes no sense. A lot of times the court will try to mandate men to pay child support, and the women don't even let them see the kid. There is hundreds of case law where fathers have been granted the right to hold payments because mothers are maliciously keeping children from the kid. Why would the family court do this without investigating allegations of the mother is beyond me, but this is something they do. And the corruption within criminal justice and the family court system, it goes hand in hand. When I was framed, the first thing my ex did was get a temporary order of protection from the family court, which she was advised to do by her pastor and the district attorney. Once she had this order, they advised her to file police reports and they would make sure they went through. And people, I know this because this woman literally confessed this to me before we started talking, that her pastor helped her, and by the help of her pastor and the DA, she was going to get me. And people, she didn't lie. She damn did. She got me. She came after me. She falsely arrested me. She defamed me. She slandered me. She accused me of things that the district attorney of this bullshit borough knew I didn't do. And he still prosecuted me, people. That's not a man of justice. That's not a man who truly cares about victim rights. That's a racist white man who probably wanted to put his penis in my pretty little black girlfriend, so he was willing to violate my civil rights to make her think he wasn't a decrepit, half-dead piece of shit and possibly touch him. Now, I seriously doubt she did. I have a lot more. I believe that this woman valued herself more than to let this disgusting old guy touch her. especially if he wasn't giving her any money. But I have to be honest with that. I don't even think she would have done it for money. I do believe this woman had such a standard for herself, she would have never slept with this disgusting pockmarked individual. But what do I know? She hated me that much that I'm pretty sure she was willing to do anything to get me. She probably did sleep with a couple of people just to get information about me to hurt me. I'm almost positive of that because that's how badly this woman wanted to destroy me. I try to live my life now, people, differently because I realize the way of the lion is not what works. I read a book one time years ago, Machiavelli. Everybody's read The Prince, but he talks about the lion and the fox. And you can't go through your whole life being a lion wanting to bite people's head off. It doesn't work, people. It works to an extent because it keeps people away from you. But a lion can't avoid traps, and a fox can't avoid wolves. Therefore, you kind of be the lion to bite motherfuckers' heads off when they do something to you, and become the fox to outsmart them when they think they got you and can set traps for you. The DA's office of Staten Island set numerous traps for me, and because I was a lion at the time, willing to bite off one individual's head, I didn't realize that I was being surrounded by a bunch of foxes who were literally trying to destroy me and trap me so they could bite me to death. And that's what the NYPD District Attorney's Office and the Family Justice Center did to me. They were a pack of me after I won that order of protection. And each one, Safe Horizon and the Family Justice Center, snipped at my reputation, and the Staten Island and the NYPD snipped my freedom and my civil rights, so I would be weak on all four corners and unable to fight them back. But they messed up, people. I had backup, and I was able to get out of the jumping that they did to me because they did jump me, people. They 100% did. If the advocates deny me, if the advocates in domestic violence deny me services and advocacy, if they refuse to speak on my behalf, like which many people who listen to, I believe it's 94, dealing with Mackenzie Upshaw, you hear Mackenzie Upshaw clearly admit I'm the victim. Why was I arrested, people? Why was it never corrected? People, today is April 23rd of 2025, and I am the victim, the legitimate victim of the domestic violence dispute between myself and Francina Evans, and I am still barred from all domestic violence services on Staten Island. How does that make sense? People, I'm the victim. They know she framed me and filed false reports. But see, people, this is what another thing. I told you that I filed several reports when I was able to prove this woman framed me and they dropped the charges. But they won't arrest her. And here's the reason why they won't arrest her. If they arrest her for falsely reporting me, they have to remove me as the defendant within their system. And then once they do that, they have to give me advocacy services. And people, they don't want to do that. They don't want me going to any advocacy agency showing them proof that the DA's office framed me. They don't want that. So people, they're doing everything in their power to come after me and stop me from talking. But I'm going to tell you something, people. When you go through a lot of BS and people come after you, your civil rights are violated, you arrested multiple times, you attacked, it gives you a resilience that you won't lose just because an old half-dead white man and some racist cops is after you. People, I got to say this as clearly as I can, and excuse the profanity. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, people. I want justice. And until I get that justice, I'm going to mash on Mike McMahon, the district attorney of Staten Island, every time I see a post of his name, people. Because guess what? I do have a federal civil rights lawsuit against him. I can prove he maliciously prosecuted me for things that he knew I was innocent of 4 times in the last 5 years. People, I can prove I was gang assaulted. Now, gang assaulted people. 5 people jumped me an hour after I found my mother's lifeless body on the floor. People, okay, I got out of the fight, not too hurt, but I couldn't walk for a year because one of the people purposely snapped my Achilles tendon. People, how were none of these people prosecuted? How was the person who intentionally attacked me and admitted it not given an order of protection to stay away from me for a year? People, the man attacks me again in the barbershop a year later, but this time he's alone. This time when he attacks me alone, I kick his ass. He's such a coward. He runs, goes, gets his 300-pound fat wife, who gets a bottle, he gets a tire iron. They come back to the place I beat him up after stalking me numerous places on Staten Island, which I can confirm trying to find me. Allegedly, they thought I wasn't at the barbershop. I just beat him up at people. I never left the barbershop after I beat this guy. He ran out the barbershop. I stayed in the barbershop, so he knew I was there the whole time. He went to my late mother's church with this crowbar. He went to my grandmother's house with this crowbar. People, why are you going to all these people's house? Because I just beat your ass in the barbershop when I just beat you up at the barbershop. You know where I am. But people, this is what this guy kept doing because he wanted everybody to know he was looking for me with this tire iron. When he finally got back to the barber shop, I ain't gonna cap. I saw him with the tire, and I was like, "Oh damn, he hit me with that tire." I stayed in the barber shop. But people, guess what? He came, hit the barbershop window, tried to hit them with the tire iron, and I don't blame these Spanish brothers. They got the hell out the way. Who wants to get hit with a tire iron? People, I got hit in the head with it, and I didn't want to get hit. He comes in, he attacks me with the crowbar. He hits me multiple times before I'm able to knock him out and take the crowbar from him, and the cops still arrest me. How do you think I felt when I found out that the district attorney's office of Staten Island lied to me and never put an order of protection on this man? How do you think I felt when I found out that the district attorneys had a secret hearing where they totally violated procedural due process, people, did not notify me or my attorney about this hearing, and dismissed the charges against a man who assaulted me with a deadly instrument because the Michael McMahon doesn't like me? And then we get to Francina Evans and the numerous false arrests, the numerous fraudulent police complaints, the numerous civil rights violations. People, this guy has been violating my rights since the death of my mother. People, I finally see it. My mother died, people, and it became open season for me with the racist district attorney of Staten Island, Michael McMahon. And people, I don't know why, because I've never done anything on Staten Island. But I think this white man just does not like me, people. And I want to go back to a picture I showed you guys about a week ago. And I believe this picture is highly relevant to what I'm saying, because I really blew this picture up, people. And people, I'm honest. I think that Mike McMahon is staring at me. I'm totally confident of that. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back. Tomorrow we're going to start playing the recordings from the police officers too. Joseph Quirk, all of them, people. Sergeant Impersante. We're going to play police reports from every police officer I spoke to on Staten Island that admits that the district attorney of Staten Island is after me. Because, people, that's what this is really about. It's about justice, nothing else. So this is what I want to show you now. This tab, I hope that you guys can see me. Hold on. No, you can't. So let's get back to it. We got about 3 minutes, people. I just want to show you something real quick, and I hope this works, but it might not. No? Yeah, it doesn't work. I really hate that. I don't know why it does that, audience. It's really annoying. You know what? Let's try something different. Let's try that. That worked. Okay, I hope everybody can see that. Let me see. That's a little better. But let's try to make it bigger. Because, people, I'm just about positive. And I've showed this picture to several people, and they all agree with me. This guy is staring at me. The district attorney of Staten Island is most certainly staring at me. Why did he just do that? That's super creepy. Oh, wow, now it did it. Cool. All right. I didn't know we could do this, people. Now, people, look at this. If you can see this picture, he's staring at me. He's definitely staring at me in this picture. I want everybody to screen, what do you call it? Screen cut this and blow this image up. And, people, there's no way you can't tell me that this racist old piece of shit is not staring at me while I'm just trying to take a picture for a park for my mother. Why is he so obsessed with me? I don't know. But, people, guess what? Now I'm obsessed with him. I want his head on a fucking platter because I feel I should not have been falsely arrested by this racist, unethical prosecutor because he was sexually attracted to my ex-girlfriend. So, people, this is my mission now, is to expose this office and do everything it takes to have this guy realize that he fucked with the wrong guy. See, people, they thought that I was just going to be some angry guy who was going to crash out because they were not helping me. I totally believe that was what happened here. I believe that I did not receive any domestic violence resources or crime victim rights is because they want me to overreact, commit a criminal offense so they can prosecute me and throw me in jail for half a decade. This is why they won't grant me victim rights. I'm 100% positive of this, people. Because truthfully speaking, you know what? Let's cut that off. Truthfully speaking, and I want to say this again, stop sharing. Because truthfully speaking, people, that's the only way they can do it. They didn't have any crimes on me, people. I wasn't committing any crimes, but they knew I had a temper. So even though they knew I was in situations where people was attacking me, they wouldn't give me help because they were hoping that I would get on some gangster shit, crash out, and go after these people. But you're wrong, Mike McMahon. You're not going to get that. What you're going to get from me now is I'm going to totally embarrass your office and the racist practices of what you do. If I'm lying on the Staten Island District Attorney's office, I challenge them to prove it. Prove that I wasn't gang assaulted and you didn't drop all the charges. See, people, they're never going to address me because they know every word I'm saying is true. Darren Albanese, Michael McMahon, They all know every word that Clayton Howard is saying is true. I was maliciously prosecuted on a false report that they knew was false from Gwendolyn Carr. I definitely was gang assaulted by 5 people, and they refused to prosecute those 5 people because they were already prosecuting me for Gwen Carr, and they relied on that prosecution to convict me and have me be a criminal defendant. But people, that didn't work. So what happened next? The same gentleman tries to assault me a year later. Now, people, all of this goes on while I'm being prosecuted for Gwen Carr. Gwen Carr's case didn't end till I think it was March or April of 2023. This gentleman attacks me a year after I got hit with a crowbar in a barbershop. Now, I should have had an order of protection, as New York state law mandates when a victim is seriously assaulted that an offender has to receive an order of protection at least for a year. People, why did my offender have no order of protection? Because Mike McMahon wanted me and this guy to have a problem again so he could use it against me to lock me up for probably a decade. See, you racist, old, ignorant piece of shit, you got to stop thinking that every black man is dumb. That's a mistake with Clayton Howard. I'm looking at the camera because I know the Staten Island District Attorney deals. And I want you to know, motherfucker, that I'm after pay for everything you did to me in the last 5 years or die trying. And that's how serious I am. I want to be a good father. I want to go on with my life. But you can't go on with your life when you face an injustice and your rights are being violated continually, even as we speak, even as I speak. I need my rights. Some people may think no charges dropped. Some people even told me I won because I got my ex, which mandates my ex to leave me alone. I didn't win, people. You know what I win? For false reporting me. I win when the district attorney of victim rights, and people, I win when man and the people who held me, people who violated me, are held accountable by the city of New York, settling and providing me with monetary damages for all the hell that I went through at the hands of this racist district attorney. That's when I win. Before, other than that, people, I'm not a winner. I'm not a winner just because I beat the criminal case. People know. All I did was get rid of one problem until they could figure out a way to set me up on another. No, people, I need to keep going. Because the longer I speak against them, the harder it is for them to frame me for something I didn't do. The more evidence I can show that they falsified evidence against me in the past, the harder it is for them to do it again when they try again because they don't like the fact I'm telling the truth about Staten Island's most racist state official. People, we have to look at the truth of the situation, white, black, Chinese, Mexican, whatever you are. You have to look at the truth when you have a local law enforcement agency or a local law enforcement official who is corrupt and who is singling out people to prosecute them. You may be a Caucasian American and you don't really care if black people get falsely arrested. That's your problem. But every minority watching this video, living within the city of New York or places like it, you should care about what I'm saying. Because just like I was set up on a misdemeanor domestic violence offense by a racist district attorney to deny me victim rights, let's put it in a larger context. Let's talk about the people who have drug charges, who get all these charges and are saying they're innocent. Let's talk about the people who go to jail for murders and assaults, who are saying, listen, this is not how it happened. But they go to jail for decades because the district attorney's office was able to create such a powerful narrative against them that they were convicted. I am firmly, firmly, firmly confident, audience, looking my audience directly in the eye, that if the Richmond County Staten Island District Attorney's Office was willing to frame me for a misdemeanor domestic violence offense in order to grant my ex-girlfriend the protective rights as a victim and deny me rights, even though I had a final, lifetime, non-expirable order of protection against her, how many other people have they framed? And this is a very good question, people. I'm not one person saying something who's wrong. People, if they frame me for a misdemeanor domestic violence offense to violate my rights as a domestic violence victim, how many other people has Mike McMahon framed? How many other people have these police on Staten Island framed? I bet you there are thousands of people who have been framed on Staten Island since Mike McMahon has taken over, which has only been 8 years, people. You can do a lot of harm in the community in 8 years. Don't get it fucked up. Don't think just because he's only been there 2 terms, he's not responsible for more damage than that. People, he is. He has done immense damage while he has been the district attorney of Staten Island. And if the Sambos on Staten Island, if the weak minority advocates and the weak advocates who claim to be for the people are too afraid and too dependent on this white man's power to speak against him, I don't depend on nothing from him, people. I don't need him to make me popping. I've been popping since before he was DA. Guess what, people? I'm going to fight this fight alone. I'm going to speak up against some people, and I'm going to build a movement. So I have people other than these pathetic scumbag advocates on Staten Island who claim they for the people, support me as I fight this guy. Because people, I'm not wrong. If I can show proof that all of this happened to me within a 5-year period, something's wrong, people. There's no way that someone should be assaulted with a deadly instrument and the DA have a secret hearing to deny them victim rights. People, what's up with that? How is somebody jumped by 5 people after finding their mother dead on the floor? People, I did nothing wrong. I literally complied with the police. People, how do you drop those charges? Because you want to prosecute the black man that you dislike more, which was me. Well, Mike McMahon, you dislike me. You decided to frame me. There's nothing I can do about that. The only thing I can do about that is give to you my word today that I ain't going no damn where. And I'm going to spend every day until I get the justice that I deserve to make sure you are held accountable. I'm going to embarrass you. And it's not, I don't really want to embarrass you. That's not the right word. I'm going to expose your misconduct because I don't want you to try to manipulate this like I'm harassing you. Because see, it can't be harassment, Mike McMahon, if I'm telling the truth. It can't be harassment if I can prove that you violated my civil rights for almost 5 years, Mike. It can't be harassment if I can prove that your office has violated procedural due process and locked me out of victims' hearings where I was the established victim who had been assaulted with a deadly weapon. Mike, you're going to have to prove that I'm lying on you. And the federal complaint that I have against you now, I'm going to do everything in my power to expose the misconduct of your office on the soul of my great mother, who you know was far superior to you and that piece of shit, Pastor Victor Brown. People, I'm on a mission for justice. I don't date. I don't go out and party. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I read case law all day and I try to figure out ways to defeat my damn enemies. Because as a man who's being attacked by people who want to destroy you, that is your only obligation when you have people who want to destroy you. You should learn lawfare, not warfare, people, because basic warfare has transcended itself from the battlefield to the courtroom. So instead of learning warfare, you learn lawfare. And that's how to fight battles in the courtroom against people who may want to hurt or destroy you for what you are. People, I'm a black man who decided to be better, who decided to not sit down and allow these people to continue to violate my civil rights. Does that mean I'm an offender? Hell no, people. It means I'm somebody who is tired of injustice, people. And I choose to hold Staten Island District Attorney Michael McMahon accountable for what he did to me. I got to go, people, because I got a live session where I answer questions and answers for people regarding family court that I just started doing. So I have to go. We've been an hour. But people, I want you to know that guess what? I only work from Monday to Thursday to Wednesday. The other 2 days I work from home. So guess what? I have today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to make content and show more evidence about the Staten Island District Attorney's Office intentional initiative to violate my civil rights. Because people, it was 100% intentional and calculated by the District Attorney of Michael McMahon to deny me services as a federally protected domestic violence victim. People, again, the only way this district attorney could have done this to me is literally to frame me for a domestic violence offense. So once I was in the system as a criminal defendant, every domestic violence agency would not help me against Francina Evans. That was the conspiracy of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office, the NYPD, and Safe Horizon and the Family Justice Center. People, they should have set me up for murder. They really should have. Oh, they should have made sure Clayton went to jail for 2 decades. Because people, I'm free and I'm fucking hungry. And I'm going to eat the people who destroyed me. That's just the fact, people. I'm going to get everyone who tried to ruin my life. I did not deserve what these people did to me. And it's okay, people. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to get my justice in the court and in the court of public opinion. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, it's time to go. I'll be back tomorrow with another live cast which exposes NYPD Sergeant M. Parasante, who in a recorded conversation directly informed me that the district attorney of Staten Island was after me and I needed to be careful, that they were siding with my ex-girlfriend, that they could not understand why they were siding with my ex-girlfriend, and they didn't know what the hell was going on, but that I should get an attorney because the district attorney of Michael McMahon was definitely after me. And people, I'm going to play this because the truth is the only way the people are going to know is to hear it from the horse's mouth. The cops who I recorded, the prosecutors who I have evidence against, and the police reports I can break apart with evidence that completely exonerates me from the offenses that were alleged against me. What do you have, Michael McMahon? Try to set me up on another false report, you piece of shit. Why don't you do that? Because you damn sure ain't going to prove that I'm lying about none of this. Forgive the profanity, people, but I am very passionate about exposing the district attorney of of Staten Island, Michael McMahon. He's a charlatan, he's a fraud, he's a bigot, and he's a racist. And he should never have done 2 terms as a district attorney in a community that's so racially unstable as Staten Island. Staten Island needs a black district attorney. I'm gonna be honest with you. They need to get rid of Mike McMahon. Him and his bullshit has been the problem in a community like Staten Island for too many decades, people. We need better. We need change. We need real advocates who care about the rights of the people, and we need a district attorney whose ideology is not so draconian that he still believes that arresting a black man is the goal of the local prosecutor's office. The slave patrols are dead, Michael McMahon. You can't use law enforcement to round up niggas who are out past curfew. I'm not a black man out past curfew, and you messed up when you came after me for Francina Evans. Like I said, on behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, this is Clayton. I'll be back tomorrow with more information and more insight into the corruption of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office and Mike McMahon. I'm going to keep pushing my petition. My petition's goal is 50,000 signatures, and I know it's going to take me time. It's going to take me probably a year or two to get this. But people, I don't care. If I can get up 50,000 signatures against Michael McMahon, I can talk to Governor Hochul or whoever the governor is and see about possibly holding this man to account for the things that he's done to me. And that's what I want. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, this is Clayton, the son of a woman who loved him more than I ever appreciated when she was alive. And to honor her, I choose to take her enemies on. I take on Pastor Victor Brown as my enemy. I take on Michael McMahon as my enemy. I take on the injustice within the community that she loved of Staten Island so much. And I'm going to fight every one of you bastards until the mission of my mother to educate the community and the lower people of Staten Island is fulfilled by educating people on their civil rights and holding those who violate people in the community accountable. Mike McMahon, you're accountable. True to Life, you're accountable. Victor Brown, you're accountable. Francina Evans is accountable. Everyone who worked to frame me is accountable. And if you work to frame me, you're going to pay. People, enjoy your evening. God is love. Hate is not love. God is love. But when people come at you with hate, you better damn sure learn how to put on a cloak that allows you to fight them back. Because love don't win wars. That's a lie. Love don't win lawfare. Learning the law wins lawfare. Love don't win wars. Beating your enemy wins wars. And that's what I need to do. Defeat my enemy. Thank you for watching, people. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode, probably episode 100, exposing Sergeant Imperasante in the phone call I had with him where I was told that the Richmond County District Attorney's Office is after me, and that I should get a return. Thank you all for watching. Have a great evening. All right, we did it.